Good morning, Year 5. Another revision video for you for your week 5 learning this time. This is still on your fractions, but we are adding mixed numbers today. So I'm going to give you some helpful hints to get on with your learning with adding mixed numbers. So the first one that we're going to do, so we're going to be having a think about 1 1/3 and 2 1/6. Now, the best thing to remember on this is that your wholes are always the same. No matter whether my whole is divided into 2, it's divided into 4, or it's divided into 8. Wholes are always the same. The fraction element is the part that's the different. How many parts it's been divided into, how many parts have been shaded. So here they are different. This is 1/3, this is 1/6. But you've got to remember that your whole is always the same. So the first thing to remember here then when we're adding mixed numbers is to have a think about adding these wholes. So I'm adding my wholes together. I've got 1 whole and 2 wholes. So I can do a calculation down the bottom here of 1 plus 2 equals 3. I then need to think about 1/3 and 1/6. And this goes back to some of the work that we were doing last week with adding fractions with different denominators. Now you can see the relationship here. So we need to have a think about making these into fractions with the same denominators. I'm going to keep this as 6. I can't simplify this one in any way because it's just 1 here. So I'm going to pick the highest or the largest denominator with the most amount of parts. And I need to make this a 6 as well. So this is where I'm thinking about doing something to the denominator to get it from 3 to 6. And remembering that I always do the same to the numerator. So now I have 2/6 plus 1/6. Remember, I always keep my denominator the same. They are both 6. We don't add these together and get 12. They're staying as 6ths. 2 parts have been shaded here. 1 part has been shaded here. 2 plus 1 is 3. Now we have all our bits and pieces together here now, but we must remember that we need to add them together. So these are the 2 here that I need to make sure at the very end I add together. Otherwise this number sentence up here won't make much sense. So 1 1/3 plus 2 1/6 equals 3 3/6. Let's do another one together before you go off and try your work for the day. Remember, you can get hold of me via Seesaw. You can send me a little video of the bits that you're finding a little bit tricky. Or you can just send me a note on there and tell me which bit you're getting stuck with. So this time 2 2/4 plus 3 1/8. Again, just like we did on the other one, our wholes are exactly the same no matter how much they have been divided into. So I've got 2 plus 3, so let's write that out. 2 wholes and 3 wholes. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now I need to focus on these 2 fractions here as part of my mixed number, 2/4 and 1/8. Again, I'm going to go for the larger number here. I want to get them both to 8s. So I'm going to put this down here so I remember that I've got that. I know I'm going to be adding them together so I can add my addition symbol down here. I want to get them to 8s, so there's no harm in putting that down there as my denominator. And I want to see about the relationship here between quarters and eighths. How am I going to get from 4 to 8? So I'm going to double it, so I'm going to multiply it by 2. What do I always do to the numerator that I do to the denominator? Do exactly the same. I'm going to multiply it by 2. 2 lots of 2, 2 groups of 2, 2 lots of 4. So now my 2 quarters and my 1/8. My 1/8 is stuck with me, but I've changed this into 4/8. So now I have 4/8 plus 1/8. What do we always keep the same? The denominator. So I'm adding 4 parts here and 1 part here. What do I need to do now? Make sure that I keep these together so I get my answer up here. So now I have 5 wholes and 5/8. 2 and 2 quarters plus 3 and 1/8 is 5 and 5/8. Give it a go. Give me a shout if you need any help. Bye.